Oh, am I starting?
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to the brand new podcast. This is Josh and Heather, and we're excited because it's been a long time since we've done podcasts like this.
Yeah, it's been about 6 years since the Bible Talks and a few episodes of Idea Talks. So here's the question. Josh, do we still have what it takes?
I'm not sure that we do have what it takes. We're about to find out. Let's get to it.
So welcome to the Josh and Heather podcast. I'm Heather.
I'm Josh.
And we're so glad to have you in our home. This is our home. We've got it set up like a studio, just like you have in your home, I'm sure. But we're right here at the table, and we've got a chair at this table, and we want to let some people pull up and have conversations with us. Who is that chair for, Josh?
Well, first of all, it's for people that are part of our church. You see, Heather and I have led Southern Hills Church in Las Vegas for 21 years. And one of the things that we love about the church is the people. One of the things that's really difficult is that we don't spend enough time with the large growing congregation. And we thought, wouldn't it be nice to be able to sit down with those in our congregation and allow us to get to know them a little and them to get to know us a little. So if you're part of our church, either from the past, the present, or even in the future, we want you to come back and watch these episodes to get to know a little bit about us and our heart for ministry and for the Bible.
See, the bottom line is we kind of like you guys. So that's where we're at. We love Jesus followers. So if you're one of those Jesus followers, jump in. The second group, though, is ministry leaders. Josh and I both were called to ministry in an early age. We're going to talk about that a little bit today, I think. But we love ministry. And just like comedians love to get together with comedians and, business people like to chat business, we're going to chat ministry on here. So if you lead in ministry, we want you to pull up a chair.
That's right. It's going to be a little unfiltered, and we may say some things that we might have to edit out later, but we promise not to. See, we want you to know what it's actually like to be serving God for decades together in life, ministry, and with family, which leads to our third group of people that if you're here today listening to this and you are a young couple who is really desiring, or a young person who is really desiring to have a Christ-centered home, I think you're going to learn a lot in this podcast. It's going to be great for you.
So grab your coffee cup and pull up a chair.
Let's go.
Now, this next segment is called Coffee Mug Time.
Coffee mug time.
So we're going to tell you a little bit about our coffee mugs.
Yeah, each and every episode, you're going to notice that we have a coffee mug that we're bringing out to tell you specifically about our favorite. We have a large collection, probably at this point over 10. It's for the, but we're going to show you which one. And then we've got something special in each coffee mug time. So my coffee mug comes from, it's called The Long Room, and it's from the Library of Trinity College in Dublin, Ireland. We visited
Dublin. Have you been to Dublin?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a Irish accent.
No, it sounds, it really does
It
not
doesn't sound like anything.
It doesn't
Not
sound like
English
much of
either.
anything.
Sorry, world. I apologize.
Well, we're going to have to apologize for
Yeah.
Heather's accents many times throughout all of these
They
episodes.
will come up. Yeah. My mug is simply trees. I am from the South, and I never realized until I lived in the desert for many years, the affinity, the strange and odd affinity I have for trees. So I just liked all the colors of this. This is my winter tree mug. I yet to have a spring, summer, and fall tree mug, but maybe that will come.
Now, during this coffee mug time, we've got something fun I think that our audience is going to enjoy. We've had a good time with it. It's something that we do in our home, and we want to bring it to you. We call it, what do we call it, Heather?
We call it the jar of mystery.
That's right, the jar of mystery. And the jar of mystery itself today, we're going to reach inside and we're going to select one of these slips, and we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
We have not prepared. We don't know exactly what it's going to say. But when we
Nothing
pull it out,
says Vegas like gambling. And
That's
this is
right.
the way we gamble, not with money, but with questions.
when we pull it out, what we're going to do is have to answer the question no matter
Yeah.
what it is. So, coffee mug time, episode 1. Heather,
Yeah.
you want to do the honors?
Yeah, I absolutely will. And don't forget in the comments to show us your coffee mug. Oh, I got to get one deep down. And to let us know the answer you would give to this question. All right, I got a big one for today.
Okay, what is it?
This is a ministry one. What is the weirdest thing someone has ever said to you as a pastor or ministry couple?
Okay.
That's a tough one. We're starting out with a really hard one.
A lot of people have said a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of weird stuff.
Okay, I've got one. And I don't remember who said this, so I'm really in dangerous territory here by sharing it. It was just a different thing for me, but someone made us a roast chicken once. delicious. It was so good and it was very sweet. We ate the chicken, but she asked me to bring her the bones so that she could do bone, which I know a lot of people do bone broth, and I'm sure it's probably sanitary and fine. But I just found it really odd, like the bones that we licked and finished, she was going to put in a bone broth. Like I couldn't do it. And I don't care the science behind that. I that was odd to me. So that was very weird.
Yeah, probably the strangest thing that I've been told on multiple occasions is, hey, I just love your church, but I just want you to know that I like your brother better than you. Or they've said, I like your dad better than you. They look you straight in the eye. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, multiple times. I like you. I just want you to know I like your brother. So my brother's a pastor on the other side of town, and my father was a pastor for many, many years. Now he is a continued pastor who travels and speaks and mentors young pastors. So yeah, I get compared to them quite a bit. And by the way, I actually agree. I kind of like them better than I like myself quite a bit as well.
I'll stick with this guy.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
So tell us in the comments if you're in ministry, and be careful what you say, but be as real as you can be. Let us know. What's the weirdest thing that someone has said to you?
Okay, so we've got to the main portion of our content today, which is the main topic. Now, every single episode, we're going to have a main conversation, main topic to be able to discuss. And over the first couple episodes, we want you to get to know us a little bit as the host of this podcast. And we're going to begin with the story of Josh and Heather relationship. Next time, it's going to be the story of Josh and Heather ministry. And then we're going to talk about the story of Josh and Heather children before we get into the main topics of our podcast. So let's talk about the story of Josh and Heather.
All right. So table talk, we'll start with where we came from.
Okay.
So I am originally from North Alabama, a little town called Coleman, in between Birmingham and Huntsville. And I was born to a set of parents that were surprised to be pregnant. It's common now. We have so many friends that are pregnant at 40, but my mom and dad, Martha and Melvin, that was unusual. And everybody at their church called them Abraham and Sarah. They had 2 teenage boys who were 12 and 14. My brothers were much older. So I had the best of both worlds. Like Christmas time, everybody's there. I've got brothers. It's fun. You know, I get nieces and nephews, but I was raised like an only child. I was the only granddaughter and girl on one side of my family. So I was spoiled rotten for most of my life, which my brother Chris would attest to. But grew up in a very idyllic childhood. I'm a bit of a romantic, I think, because now that I'm thinking back, like I'm in the cow pasture with cow patties and things like that. And
very romantic.
But I didn't notice them. Like I wouldn't trade my childhood for anything. Bike rides, goats. It was just wonderful. A wonderful, loving family. My father was a businessman, but when he and mom were saved early in their marriage, they began training. Like I guess a lot of churches used to do a lot of night seminaries. So my dad actually trained in a seminary, and he and mom were serving as children's pastors, children's ministers at their church. When they moved to North Alabama when I was about 4, they went to a church called Trinity, loved the people, but the pastor had just resigned. And my dad is a natural leader. And the men asked him, would he fill in? And so my dad filled in for, I think it was over 10 years at that church.
The entire time he's a business professional.
Yeah.
He's a traveling manager.
Yeah.
He does great work for a company called Toledo Scale Company. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
It's still out there. UPS stores have them, grocery stores.
Yeah,
that
pretty much
a lot of my life.
Yeah, pretty much anywhere you go that has a giant scale, it'll say Toledo Scales.
Yeah.
And that's who we work for. But he pastored. He shepherded a congregation up to about 250 people until, from what I understand,
it's really 175.
Well, I'm a
You're
pastor, so I exaggerate the number.
But I wanted to clarify that. Yes.
Right. And then he turned it over to another pastor.
Yeah. So I had a very unusual upbringing. I don't consider myself a pastor's kid. Like I don't raise my hand because I didn't go through a lot of the hard stuff. Like financially, we were set. Like the church loved me. I was the belle of the ball. You know, like the old people loved
What's
me.
that quote from?
I don't know. What is that from?
Do you really not know?
I really don't know.
Maybe our audience can tell us.
Is it a mob movie?
The Belle of the Ball?
The Belle of the Ball?
You're the Belle of the Ball. You don't know?
I don't know.
I love this moment. I love the fact that you don't remember. So you were the Belle of the Ball.
So I didn't have a lot of bad stuff.
Can you still not think of it?
No.
I'll bet you our audience can tell. If you can tell what it is, I want you to go onto our social media site. We've got one right now, a Facebook page called Josh and Heather Podcast, and see if you can. You seriously don't?
I seriously don't know.
I love it. Go
I'm
tell her
not
where
that
it's
into
from.
movies,
Go
so.
tell her where it's from. It's not from a movie. I'll tell you that.
It's not from a movie?
No, it's not from a movie. All right,
TV
Bella
show?
DeBall. No, it's from a TV show. And it's from a TV show we've seen many, many times. It doesn't
Okay,
matter.
now
It
I'm
doesn't
so
matter.
distracted.
Yeah, you'll get it.
Anyway, idyllic childhood. And the funny thing, before we go into our teen years, I'm going to have Josh tell you about his childhood. The funny thing is our childhoods were very different, but we were both very blessed with loving parents. And I think we kind of each believe we had the best childhood. Like I hear stories sometimes from his childhood, a very ministry family going through some ministry stuff. And I'm like, that's so sad. Like, and it's his favorite stories. Like, so I think it's funny. We have very different upbringings.
Yeah, the way I grew up, I was a child who grew up on the streets, a lot of hard alcohol and drugs from an early age. I had nobody who cared for me, nobody who loved me, and I made something of myself. No, that's not true. None of that is true. So my father and mother served in ministry, Dave and Anna Teis, 50 years, and we grew up in a church plant that became a solidified, growing church in Las Vegas. And I was a PK, and I had 4 brothers and sisters, an older brother named Matt, 3 little sisters. We're very close even to this day. Charity, faith, and hope. We grew up in a church setting. We grew up in a church setting that did not have a lot of resources. So there are a lot of our stories, she says, that are sad because
we planted with no team, really no resources.
Right.
God provided, but like
we didn't have cows. We didn't have
in the
pastures,
city, the heart of the city.
But it was fun. It was a great childhood that we grew up in, and the church people were so very nice to us most of the time. And my parents are great parents, and you actually can follow them on their podcast, the Teis Talks, and my dad does a lot of ministry stuff.
Can I share one of the sad things that I think? Okay, this shows my spoiledness. It's quick. They didn't have like new underwear.
Why are you talking about my underwear?
I think this is so sad, but nobody minded it. Like I remember, and my mother-in-law.
I want to be really clear about something.
To my mother-in-law,
I had underwear. I had underwear. I have it now.
And unfortunately, they didn't have the Amazon stores and auction stores like we do now.
Right.
But she would find stuff and she would thrift it and she would clean it. My mother-in-law is amazing what she did for the kids and the family. They had new presents at Christmas because she would, work and do craft fairs. But there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong
with used underwear,
secondhand underwear that's cleaned properly, which it was.
Right.
But like, I remember a lady named Aunt June came to their church and it was a big deal. She took them out to get clothes. You got to pick what you wanted.
Yes.
And you got
June
brand new underwear.
Brand new underwear. It was very exciting. It was nice. It
just makes me sad. I want to go back in the 80s and send the Teis family, the Teis kids underwear. Like Santa always brought our kids underwear. Like it was so fun getting your new fresh pack of panties there. I can't believe we're talking about this.
I can't believe the very first episode. Well, we said unfiltered and we said we'd talk about anything. I can't believe we're talking about that. But I do remember that underwear because I got a pair of red underwear.
See?
And it was cool because Halloween was coming up. And so I put on my blue jeans and I put the red underwear over my blue jeans so I could be Superman, and I had a red towel. And so, yeah.
See, is that not sad?
That's not sad.
My mother showed me like handmade, beautiful Halloween costumes.
Right.
Like,
you're rich. We know. You're so rich.
I'm so blessed. Okay. So poor. It just makes me sad for you.
We had a great childhood is what I'm trying to say. And when we were young, my father taught us how we can know Christ. And I was born again as a child. And then about 15 years old, I felt called to be a pastor and have been on that road ever since. But that's when we met. So we met in college.
Add this. One of the things when we met, we discovered while our childhoods were very different from those things, how God worked in our lives was very similar. Even in our wedding video, it was fun to see commitments, pictures that represent commitments or moments in our life. Like, I served in child evangelism 5-day clubs, teaching kids throughout the summer. He worked at a Christian camp. Like, about those same years, God was working in each of our lives separately. We both were called to ministry. I wanted to be a pastor's wife, even though I didn't know at all what that would really be like. That was on my heart. And he wanted to be a pastor. I think think the only thing when we started dating that we kind of disagreed on a little bit, he very much had the heart to plant. And I kind of, revitalization wasn't a thing back then, but I didn't know what to call it. But I knew there were a lot of churches that I saw dying that needed a good pastor and ministry leader. So we had some discussions. I don't know if you remember that, but early on while we were dating and when we knew we were getting married, we talked about ministry. And that's where it was a little bit. And I said, well, I'll wait and see what God does. And of course, he did call us to plant. But I've always had a heart for revitalization. And thank you to those that are serving in that way as well.
Yeah, we admire anybody who's revitalizing and planting. You know, when I think about the moment that we met, I really want you to tell the audience, what was the first thing that attracted you to me, that made you think, this is a man, I cannot be happy unless I'm with him the rest of my life? Because there were multiple opportunities and there were incredible guys all over the place that you brushed them all aside and said, that's the one that I can't help.
Okay, so there were two things. One is hair. I've always like the physical feature.
Correct.
He's got great eyes, but it's always been the hair for me.
Let me ask you a question. Now I'm looking at the video because we're watching ourselves. If you're listening to this podcast, we're on YouTube, and so we have to record this. Our producer wants us to record this, and so we're going to put this out on you. And my hair is not the color in my mind that I think my hair is. Yeah,
it looks different when it's cut short too. But this is what's odd. Even as a teenager,
it's almost white.
I loved salt and pepper hair.
Wow.
Now I prayed for someone. Like I had my little list. I'd pray through for my future husband, and I prayed for dark hair.
Yeah.
But I've always loved salt and pepper. I think the Lord just planted that little desire in my heart as I followed him. But I think it's fantastic.
I am a handsome man.
I love his hair. But I think the thing that drew me personality wise was leadership, really. And some of that is confidence. Guys, if you're listening, if you're a young single man, listen to me. You need to express confidence. Girls are highly attracted to confidence. That's why so many jerk guys get the girl, because they come in confident to the room or the party, and girls are attracted to that. So be confident. Don't be prideful, but be confident.
Yeah, there's a lot of young adults that go to our church and ones that we mentor on a continual basis, and you need to hear what she's having to say. There's so many of you who only believe that you can be confident when you feel confident. That is an absolute ridiculous concept. You're not confident when you feel confident. You are confident when you project confidence, which means you need to own the moment that you're in, and you need to take your identity in Christ, and you need to absolutely just project calm and confidence. And when you do that, it is really going to be attractive.
Maybe that's an episode we'll do one day. I will just say, because of my major, I was in the art labs a lot and studios, and I did some drama, and I was around melancholy guys a lot, very melancholy. And they looked at me because I seemed a bit more outgoing than I am. And they thought, oh, this is a perfect match for me. And I was like, no, I wanted a leader like my father. And I saw Josh stepping up to the plate time and time again and leading from student body to any room he entered in. It reminded me a lot of my dad, that people would stop talking when my dad would start talking, even quietly, because he just commanded that kind of respect and authority as a natural leader. And Josh had that. So immediately drew me in.
I'm a pretty special person. That's what it comes down to. So we meet in college. We fall in love. I find out that you are dating a friend of mine.
We weren't dating. He said we were dating. We weren't.
Okay, so you know bro code. All of us that are listening, that are men, we know bro code. Mm-hmm. Guy comes to me. Awesome guys, really a great guy. Still a friend to this day. And he says to me, we dated for a while. We're going to get back together. And I'm like, oh man, she's off the market, because guys are not going to cross that line. Guys are not going to take that which belongs to their friend, at least, the good guys. And so I'm like, all right, so she's off the market, and come to find out, you're not even remotely interested. But the reason I thought it was possible is because they were sitting together, and it's amazing how circumstances that align will make you think that what's happening is not what's actually happening. And so there they were, sitting at a softball field, watching a softball game up on the bleachers, and I saw her sitting by him, and I was like, well, okay, that is what it is. And but in that moment where we were sitting there, I thought, you know what? No, this was one of about 3 moments we met, and I said, no, I'm going to pursue this girl. I'm going to ask her out.
Yeah, and I was surprised he didn't because I thought he was interested, and he never came to the play I was in, which I strongly hinted like you should come. And then it wasn't till that was the end of our freshman year.
I've heard
the
about
beginning of our sophomore year that we started dating.
I've heard about that play for 25
I was
years.
really good in it.
I've heard
you missed it.
Yeah.
We can never get that back. I could perform it for you tonight. I don't have the costumes though.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
This is too bad.
I could play all the roles.
It's fine.
It's weird.
Okay. So anyway,
moving on.
Sophomore year, we meet. Well, we've met a couple times at that point. I decided I was going to ask her out, but I really didn't have an opportunity. So Heather created an opportunity.
Yeah. This one I'll keep short. We've talked about it a lot, I feel like, but here's what I'll say. I
Not
give
on
a
this
tip to the
podcast.
guys, and I'll say this to the girls. Ladies, we don't chase the men, but we make ourselves available. Okay. There is such wisdom in this. My mother taught me this. And I remember moments. Josh is very much a focused person. So when he is doing something, he is all in and he's oblivious to many other things. So I remember I thought he wanted to ask me out. We'd had some good interactions, and I knew he was probably waiting for a moment without people around. Girls, another tip, especially if you're in a college or a busy place, guys don't often like to approach girls in groups. So that worked well for me naturally because I enjoy some alone time. So I didn't mind sitting with a book or sitting somewhere by myself. But if you're interested in a guy, break away from the pack, ladies. So I'm walking down.
You need to give the dude a shot.
Yeah.
A moment to approach you. Like, what kind of guy? I mean, we talk about confidence, but what kind of guy is so confident he can walk right into a group
and
of
ask
8
for
beautiful women and
rejection.
talk to one and be like, "Will you go with me?" And all the girls like, and then one of them says yes or no,
Yeah.
and then he walks away like break away. By the way, if you know a guy that's willing to walk into a group like that, that dude knows confidence. That guy is incredibly good for him.
Stupidity.
Or
I wouldn't recommend. I would never tell my son to like go into a group to do that. That would be crazy.
Well, those lines are very close in reality.
So there was a long, long hallway. Ultimately, it's a place in the academic center. He was working at the information desk. Nobody was there, which was crazy. So I'm walking this long hallway and I see him. And I am walking ridiculously slow, waiting for him to look up from his studying or his work to see me. He doesn't. All the way down the hallway. So there was a phone. We didn't have, this is back in the 1900s, no cell phones. So I went to check my messages. There were 2 phones beside the info desk. So right there, I am probably 5 feet from this man. And I checked my messages maybe 3 times, no messages, until out of the corner of my eye, I see him look up and I could tell. I was like, okay, this is the moment. If he's going to do it, this is his opportunity. So I hung up, I turn, and as I walk, I'm like, hey, and then that's where he asked me out. So
yeah, I asked her out, but here's how it went. Okay. So she is going by and I said, so would you like to go to, to go to dinner or something sometime? And she said, sure. And she just kept walking, but she kept walking now fast, a lot faster than what I knew she was walking earlier. And I said, okay, well, what's your number? And she did this thing that is seared.
It's so dorky, and I think it's hilarious.
No,
he loves this.
It's seared into my mind. She flipped her hair around and she looked at me and she said, my number is 5721, extension 1, 5721. It's still in my mind. And she said 5 for when you wave hi to me, 7 for the number of perfection, 21 when you're old enough to drink, and 1 because I'm number 1. And she flipped her hair and walked away. And I'm like, well, this is my new favorite person. And so
that's
we were
really cool, isn't it?
It was so cool. It was
I have
so cool.
trouble remembering things, so I use little keys to remember.
Yeah.
So it worked.
It did. And from that point on, we started dating and falling in love. You're going to hear more about maybe our story at certain points whenever certain stories within our courtship/dating period and engagement period fit into the topics we're going to be discussing. And you're going to be hearing a lot of topics that we want to discuss. Discussions about relationships before marriage, during marriage. We're going to hear a lot about relationships when it comes to parenting, how to parent, children at different phases. You're going to hear a lot of stories as we talk about specific topics related to ministry ministry? How do you minister to others? Some of you are not just pastors. Some of you are deacons. Some of you are small group leaders. Some of you are mentors, individuals that are leaning in on spiritually guiding people closer to Jesus Christ. And in these scenarios, you're going to hear us reflect some of the stories that we've had that have actually help us learn how to do these things better, based and rooted in scriptural principles. So today, we just wanted you to hear a little bit about our relationship and what our relationship has become, which we'll talk more about in the episodes to come.
That's our table talk time. Our next segment's really quick. At the end of each episode, we're going to share two things. The first one is a grit or grace moment.
Yeah, these two words have been meaning a lot to us now that we are 45 years old and we're entering our 22nd year of shepherding Southern Hills. 25 years of marriage, we talk about grit and grace. And these two words really, I think, have defined our lives. And I believe the life of a follower of Jesus Christ. It takes both grit.
Stick-to-itiveness. You got to stick with it. Be steadfast, the Bible would say.
And grace.
Yeah.
Which means we need to be able to have an opportunity of receiving the grace of God and then showing others grace. So in this segment, we're going to ask the question, what grit or grace moment have you experienced lately? What is a grit or grace moment that you've experienced lately?
Well, I think when I think about our table talk time that we just discussed, I have to say a grace moment that I'm very thankful for. It's a gift that I don't deserve, was just the parents I had. I think about Melvin and Martha, and both loved me. My mom was my greatest discipler. And I think too, my mom saw calling in my life before I even did, in areas that I'm just now seeing God open up. And I'm like, I remember mom seeing this. So I'm thankful for Melvin and Martha. That was a gift of grace that I didn't deserve.
Now, I'll take the gift of grit. For a child who couldn't have underwear.
How did you survive?
For a child whose family could not afford underwear. Look at what I've become today with a cup from Dublin, Ireland. There's our grit and grace moment. Do you want to end out with a blessing, Heather?
Yes. At the end, we want to share one verse of scripture, and then we're going to speak a blessing over you. And we are 45, so I have to put on the glasses if I'm going to read scripture. So I chose today's passage, Isaiah 35, and I'm doing 3 verses. You can't stop me. Verses 3-6. Here we go. This is about the coming kingdom. Strengthen ye the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees. Say to them that are of a fearful heart, be strong, fear not. Behold, your God will come with a vengeance. Even God with a recompense, he will come and save you. And I love this. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped. Then shall the lame man leap as a hart or a deer, and the tongue of the dumb shall sing. For in the wilderness shall waters break out and streams in the desert. I just wanted to share that. I think with all the brokenness that our world experiences, things that we see, it's good to remember that our God will triumph, and he is bringing the coming kingdom where he will reverse those effects.
We speak this blessing over you, and we want to give this declaration of truth to you. May your home be filled with laughter. May your calling be certain, and may your love be wildly faithful. We're Josh and Heather.